Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX today? So Friday left us with a pretty much a range bar, indecision bar, also a potential shooting star. Okay, so in other words, we gapped up and we sort of just hanging in the middle of nowhere. Now, the question is whether we get a gap down and we fail to close that opening gap, and then we have potential move to the downside. Now, the big thing here to watch is that trend line, and sorry, not that. Use that later, but more of a case of watching that. So you can see we have a rising wedge. We've closed this gap, and there is another gap here, but I have my doubts whether we're going to even get that high. Okay, so we do have diversions here. You can see there's a high, lower high, and you can see the oscillator here forming a higher high on the Bollinger. So I would expect this thing to start moving back to the downside. Okay, so let's just quickly run through the other time frames to see. So that is the 4 hour. You can see it is a pretty strong trend at the moment. We're sort of bouncing off the moving averages, and remember my moving average is set up as a 9 and a 26 smoothed moving average. So we are bouncing off them at the moment. So yeah, there's nothing really too much. Well, there's not much to read into this at this stage. Yeah, we could continue this action. This pin bar here is also quite telling that the buyers did step in. Or was this just the bears that were taking profit from Friday? Okay, so now the open will be pretty key. And then I think that before we get to the lower time frames, just want to have a look what's happening right now. Right now we are down 0.2%. So we're trading around 11,520. Which is pretty much somewhere around there. 530, 525, 520. So price is kind of hovering over here, almost on the bottom of this wedge. So yeah, so anything can happen right now. And I think if you look at the Dow Jones, you'll see that as well. So let's start looking at what we can look for here. So we do have a 200 moving average on the hour here. Okay, we've had a bit of a crossover of the oscillators and nothing really else to write home about. So the areas to watch are definitely 11479. Okay, and this isn't quite a fractal yet. We'll have to wait for the first hour of trading to see whether this is confirmed as a fractal. If it does confirm as a fractal, then that is a level to watch. So that would be 11,561. Okay, and ultimately you want to see a break above this fractal level here. Okay, 11,688. Now, this could very well turn out to be so there's a couple of things here. So the first thing is it could very well be a wedge, or it could turn out to be a channel. And this will go from there. Okay, so yeah, jury's out on this one at the moment. Not really sure what's going to happen. So if we look at the moving averages, nothing really gives us anything to look at the moment. And the last one I want to do is just drill down to the half hour, see if there's anything here. And nothing really here either. Okay, so just clean up the mess, and that is a half hour fractal, which is something to watch, as is that. So those are the two levels to watch. Okay, so we're looking for a break above 11.1. Oh, it's 11.1500, 11.1560. oh sorry, 11,560, and we're looking at 11,479. Those are the two levels that we want to watch. Okay, looking at the oscillators here, we have a potential crossover far apart, which is always a bearish signal like that. Okay, so yeah, so pretty much I think it's going to be a typical Monday. Lots of sideways motion until the US Open. And bear in mind, we do have US midterm elections happening on Tuesday. So before that, before we leave, let's just have a quick look at the ichimoku. And as usual, we'll start with the daily just to get a picture of what's going on. And I just want to get rid of those noise. So from a daily perspective, we are in between Kijinsen and Tenkan-sen, so that is fairly neutral or ranging. We've got a flat cloud, so that is also ranging. That's pretty much based on Friday's candle, so nothing really there. 4 hour, we have crossed through the cloud. We did get a crossover here of Kijinsen and Tenkan-sen, so this is looking bearish. We've got bullish. We've got a twist here, and we are Chico's band has bounced off the cloud here, and now what we're looking for is a break through the cloud. So this is looking fairly bullish, but we could still get a move to the downside to come and test this cloud. Okay, so that's kind of the way that I would look at this. Just going to put one line on Kijinsen here and one line on the cloud, and this is on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so that is what I would expect. We've had a break through the cloud. I want to see us come back and test the break of the cloud before moving up. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on this instrument. If we look at the hour, we were kind of bullish. So here's an example of what I'm looking for on the 4 hour. So we broke through the cloud, came back to test the break of the cloud, tested it again, and then we rallied. So that's what I'm looking for on the 4 hour. Okay, same kind of setup as this. I want to come back, test the cloud, and then bounce. Okay, so at this stage, nothing really to look at. We are in overbought territory on the oscillator, so that is a bit of a challenge. And we've got this 200 moving average on the hour. You can see how we bounced off it. We use it as support and resistance 2 days in a row, plus on Friday. So I would expect us to be watching this level. Okay. So that is a level to watch, which is basically this fractional level. So that's how 11,480 is a fairly important level to watch. And to the upside, 11,560. Okay, so that's kind of my view on this. And I think I'm probably just going to wait this one out. I'll have a look at the European Open to see what happens. But I'm definitely have the feeling that we do have a potential turn happening, but there are quite a few breakouts that need to be tested. Okay, so that's kind of the one breakout. So there's breakouts that need to be tested, and there is also cloud breakouts that need to be tested. So there's so much that still needs to happen. I still want to see us another attempt to the downside and form a higher low, which is pretty much what we're referring to, and then form a base, and then there's opportunity to get long again. Okay, so there are some short scalps available as well, but it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the longer term moves. So the other thing to watch out for is the 30-minute has got a crossover on the cloud. We have, of Kijinsen and Tenkan-sen, we've bounced off the cloud. And again, you can see how these two fractional levels are very important to watch. Okay, so break below this one, breaks through the cloud, and Kijinsen and Tenkan-sen again as well. Okay, so that's kind of my view on this at the moment. Pretty much lots of indecision right now. So we're just going to wait for a proper setup. So you could find a double bottom off here. It could bounce off at 200 down the bottom here. And pretty much pay attention to the 4 hour, because you're going to find buyers step in at each of these levels. So you'll find on this tail here, because you've got inside tails, so there will be buyers there. You've got another tail there, so which coincides with the cloud, the inside tails there. You've got Kijinsen here, So there'll be buyers there, and you also have a gap further down over there, and you have an inside tail here. So lots of levels to the downside for buyers to step in off, and I just got this feeling that you're going to see a lot of noise from Trump. All of a sudden, trade war deal is going to be in place, and all of a sudden, all the negative noise that he's had going is going to start changing to try and influence the voting. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's my view on the DAX for now. I think probably safer to keep your money in your pocket for the first hour of trading and then see what happens going forward. Anyway, guys, hope that helps. Enjoy your day, and I will catch up with you later. Cheers for now.